Hey, what's going on? It's KLA Club Wanderer, and on a Saturday, and I'm with a lovely lady. Her name is Tatiana Webster. How you doing? She's an OCB competitor, and she's here to tell how she got into fitness. So welcome.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful for you having me. I think this is wonderful what you're doing,
Yeah,
shining
I
a light,
appreciate it.
especially on female competitors.
Yeah, I appreciate you telling me that. Yeah. Like so for you, so you done OCB, like how long you been doing the OCB? Um
I am a baby. Last year was my first time
okay.
competing. My first show was in July. I did the first show in Orlando, and my second show was in my hometown in Cleveland, Ohio. OCB, which is the All Natural organization, and it was such a phenomenal experience.
Okay. Well, we could show some pictures of you. What was it like preparing for the show?
It was like I said, I'm very young in this journey. I started training in January of 2025. In hindsight, I should have waited. Probably I should have trained for a good year before I got on stage, but
Right.
I wouldn't change it. I was able to place in every category. First time out, I have never competed against other first timers, and I placed third or fourth in every category that I competed in as a figure
Right.
competitor. So um, amazing. The women that I was on the stage with, they were so supportive. I was really surprised about the sisterhood and how everyone is just really supporting you. It's not competitive. Everyone is doing the same hard work, so it really don't matter what the other competitor is doing. So it's a very supportive atmosphere. And the one
Right.
in Cleveland, that one was really special to me because I live in Florida, but all my family is in Ohio. So I was able to go home and compete in front of my family, and my grandmother, who's 84, she was there. That was probably the best experience, is being on stage in front of my family.
Yeah, I'm trying to show you on panel, but this thing, I'm on my phone and it's kicking my ass right now. I'm trying to show you your face. So, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? I'm sorry. I just this phone is just acting up. Like, yo, oh man, this is some bullshit right now. Hold on. Yeah, so that's good that your family came with you. Like how did you get into bodybuilding?
It's so funny. I was recently talking to my dad about it. I was 200 pounds and I was freaking out about turning 40. So I started
Hmm.
doing like a cardio boxing. I fell in love with the cardio boxing. I dropped 70 pounds that first year. And what the boxing, it helps you build muscle. And so it was a natural progression where I was like, oh, I like how my body looked with, a little bit more toned. And then I started actually lifting weights. I went to another gym where it was more mixed, where you would have like a hit training while boxing, and the instant difference that I was seeing in my body as a 40+ year old woman, once I added weights, something just started. I was like, I do want to compete. Had no idea where to go with that. What I was saying, it was funny because when I was talking to my dad, when I was younger, during the 80s and 90s, when the gold gyms were really popular,
Right.
my dad, he never did the bodybuilding, but he was constantly in the gym. I would always, see his Gold's gym bag, and he was very big, like muscular. So I think it was something that I would eventually gravitated to. I just got into it later in life. I initially, because I do live in Florida, I went to a posing clinic that was in Miami. At the time, I did not know the difference between natural and those that do PEDs. I was in a room full of women that I just was like, I'm nowhere near ready. So that intimidated me because I said I really didn't know how I was going to get to the size that these women were. And this is I'm in a room with like Miss Olympias. So again, this is why educating yourself on the sport is super important. So I took some time back, just still continue to work out, and then I just said I just wanted it. I said it. The longer you wait, there's no point where you're going to really ever feel ready. So last year I said I'm just going to do it. And it was amazing. But that's where I really learned the difference between the different organizations, and me staying natural is super important. I try to tell women because we sometimes um you get the perception if you're going to lift weights, you're going to look like a man.
Yeah.
And this is no shade to anyone. Whatever everyone's going to do what's best for their body, but I think that's what keep a lot of women from building muscle to live, because they don't see the difference between natural competitors and women that take the enhancements. It do change your body. There's no way around it. And some women don't like that look. Personally, I don't want that look. So learning that there was a organization or organizations where I could compete and not be on any steroids, that was a big boost for me, because I do want to stay natural. I will be staying natural. There's no other option for me.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure I'm on my tablet.
Okay, now I can see
Yeah,
I'm up on the screen now, so you don't look like you're talking to yourself.
yeah. Yeah. I was on my phone and then tap, but anyway, yeah, I understand what you're saying. With the enhancements and stuff. There's moments where it can be like look frowned upon by the public, if I could say that, because a lot of times, like you even pick up a magazine and somebody spots you and they see you looking at somebody like a woman that's really not the average looking woman, they gonna give you these looks. And so I do understand that.
And I mean,
Um
it's a perception. And again, like I believe each their own. Me, I'm going to stay natural, and that is a big. I think that's a huge deterrence for a lot of women to actually get in shape, because they don't understand the difference. So they're looking at women that, they have the broader shoulders. And I tell people, you're not going to, how much how much effort you have to put in to gain muscle. Those
right.
5-pound dumbbells you're doing, you're not going to gain muscle. And eating is a big factor. A lot of us don't necessarily know that you have to eat more to gain weight, and people tend to eat less. So I'm telling people there's a lot of misconceptions that for women, I'm speaking for women mainly, that we don't know, that sometimes with the bodybuilding, it can discourage women. So that's why I was really excited when you reached out to me, because I do want to share, especially being I'm 43, I'm an older woman. I am, your body is constantly changing. I have no desire to take anything unless needed, but our body is constantly changing. And the bodybuilding and the fitness, just my fitness journey, has helped me tremendously.
Right.
So
So
again, thank you for this opportunity.
you competed like two shows.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did two shows back
because
to
I was a
back.
little bit distracted. I didn't want to, you
I
know.
got
Yeah, like what was that like being on stage? Like were there like three competitors or
So for the first show in Orlando, it was four of us.
yeah.
Being on stage, it's nothing you can prepare for. I felt like my knees, everything was shaking. When I watched the videos, I looked like I was calm, and I was enjoying it. I enjoyed it, but
Is this
it
it?
is probably one of the scariest things that I've actually done in my life. And but it's so rewarding, because once so how OCB is set up, you, as a figure competitor, there's different divisions. You have the first timers, but this was a smaller crowd, so there were no
Mhm.
other women who were first timers. And then you have like the age groups. novice, meaning you've probably competed before, but you haven't placed, and open, where it's everyone. I was in novice, open, and 35 and over. I placed third in all three areas. And it, after the show, one of the ladies sent me a message on Instagram, and she told me you should have had second place, and this is the pose you need to work on.
Okay.
Never met this woman before in my life, and just that type of support, that just, I was like, okay, I know what I need to work on. But now that I'm in it and I was able to start networking, a lot the women that I was on the stage with, they've been preparing for years. And that's where I wish I would have took more time off to really learn. And the posing, it looks simple, but when you're on stage, you're thinking about a lot. You're squeezing your core, you're saying flare your muscles, look natural, smile, and you also listening for the judge for your cues on when to move, or if they want you to switch with the other competitors. So it's really nothing you can prepare for. You just go out there and you wish for the best, but you have to enjoy the moment. And that's what I like. That was the biggest thing. I had a great time. I was nervous. I was scared, and you're actually able to get feedback from the judges as well. So that helps prepare you for your next show.
What like what division you was in? Were you in bikini
Oh no, I was in figure.
or figure?
So
Oh, okay.
yes, I
Okay.
am. Bikini is cool, but I like to think that I'm a little bigger than the bikini girls.
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
the the long term goal is eventually to go to physique. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm currently bulking. I'm going to stay with OCB, but I'm also going to do NPC. Still, I'll stay natural. I really think that as a natural competitor, I can compete and beat those that are on enhancements.
Yeah. I've been to few OCB shows. I've been to Atlantic City in the Double Down, Atlantic City, and I've been to the one here in Brooklyn where I'm at, the Big Apple. And yeah, I went to the overall shows. Yeah, where they had figure, women's physique, bikini, wellness, and the ones that do win, they get their pro card. And yeah, so
So, and that is, I think it's a huge goal, but I do want first place this year. I set goals sometimes, and I say, you have to be humble and realistic. I want my pro card. I will be getting my pro card. I believe I could get it this year, but I also know that this is not a journey that happens over 1 or 2 years. But the long term goal is definitely my pro card with OCB and MPC.
um,
So and that is going to be a lot of work, but people say, well, what keeps you motivated? I'm like, I set a goal for myself. I'm not going to disappoint myself. Like someone's going to hold me accountable, I'm going to hold myself accountable the most. So I want my pro card. I'm going to work hard and get it. I have a amazing trainer who, um from looking at her, people would say, oh, she's small and she's natural, and she really just took me under her wing this year. After my last show in August, I wanted to do another show, and she looked at me and said, honey, you're not ready to be on the stage. And I'm like, but hold on, I'm placing. And she said, but do you want to place, or do you want your pro card? Do you want first place? I said, okay. I said, that's a valid question. The two shows I did, I got third and fourth place, but it's cute, but I want first.
yeah,
First is how you get your pro card. So I I humbled myself and I sat down in this journey. I've already seen a huge, tremendous difference with working on her and being more intentional. And I've had to eat more. And that's where where I was speaking about, a lot of women say, I don't want to get big. I eat 3,000 something calories a day. And a
yeah,
lot of us, when we're in our weight loss journey, we're eating less. We don't eat, and we're doing a lot of cardio, and that's just not how you build muscle. And being that my journey, my physical fitness journey was all me. I didn't have a trainer, so I'm still learning a lot.
Okay. Your trainer was in the OCB? Was she a OCB competitor or?
M- My first trainer, yeah, she was a OCB
Oh,
trainer. My
okay.
current trainer, she competed in NPC in Muscle Beach.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
Yeah, I mean, like I can't believe like you were once like 200 pounds. Well, like
yes,
was
I
that
know.
like what made you be consistent? Like was you tired of just being like overweight or you know?
And I was 38. I 40 was knocking on the door, and I'm naturally a slimmer build. But
Yeah.
as we age, I like food. I enjoy food. I'm in Florida. If you like food, you got Haitian, Jamaican, you got Cuban, Mexican. Like rice is you eat a lot of rice, and
Yeah.
I eat. I there's no I love food. So I just over the years really picked on a lot of weight, and I was to the point where I was like, hey, I went home and my grandma, I'm walking up the steps and she said, "Oh, hey, Juicy." And I was like, okay, I think I am getting big. And I was 200 pounds, and
Yeah.
I have arthritis in my knees, and I was planning on getting my knees replaced. So 40
Mm,
was the age, because I was still really young, that I was gonna have my first surgery. And I knew, I was like, okay, when you get surgery, you need to go in lighter. So the goal initially was to lose the weight so I could prep for surgery. But as I was losing the weight and building muscle, I was like, do I really need the surgery, or can I do this on my own?
yeah.
And changing my diet, taking fish oil and different supplements, it helped with the arthritis. The pain wasn't there. It made a difference. It was really about listening to your body and taking time out and researching. Someone told me about fish oil. Fish oil is a game changer. It tastes
Mm,
disgusting, but it made such a difference for that inflammation and just my joints. So instead of getting surgery, I started doing different little things to start building up the strength in my knees.
yeah. Do you drink it like the fish oil or?
So I take the tablets, the oil. You
Oh,
a
okay.
special breed if you can do the oil, but even with the tablets, you still occasionally you burp up a fishy taste. But if I don't take the tablets, I notice a difference. And even taking turmeric and ginger, I am not a nutritionist, or I do not have a medical background, so these are just my experiences. But these natural supplements made a big difference with the inflammation in my knees and being able to do different movements without the pain.
Yeah, that's cool. Like somebody able to tell you about certain things to help you lose weight. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that really struggle in losing weight, you know. Yeah, like what's your advice for somebody that struggles with that, you know? Like and how do you look at like people that that kind of do the surgery thing and like to kind of lose weight?
So I tell people, find something that you love. I started boxing. I love boxing. It is my mental health, just being able to take that hour, put on my headphones and punch that bag, the weight melted off. I was doing cardio, but it didn't feel like doing the treadmill or the elliptical. Find, if it's jump ropes, find something that you enjoy. Or and again, for women, we like that group experience.
Yeah,
Find a gym and go to hit classes, go to TRX classes, find something that gets your heart rate up, because then when you're you're able to stay consistent. For me, boxing was genuinely fun. I could do it for an hour and not feel like I was working out. And that cardio, I lost so much weight quickly because of that movement. As I'm losing weight, I'm also building muscle. So my weight loss journey was, I think, a little easier than some, but I was also going to the gym 5, 6 days a week because I genuinely enjoyed the boxing. Like, it
right.
was something that I loved. I didn't have to make myself go to the gym and do the boxing. I loved it. That was the highlight. I would get up at 5 a.m. to go to the first class before I went to work because, again, it was something that I loved. So I tell people find that one thing that you genuinely enjoy. I teach cardio kickboxing and rarely have someone experience that they didn't love it. I am a big component. I tell people if you once you start hitting the bags, you're able to just be at peace for that hour. If you're stressed out about work or whatever you're stressed out about, something about punching that bag allows you to release all that energy and that hour flies by. And so that my first thing would be find something that you genuinely enjoy. If you can do it with a group, the hit classes, the group classes, you know, if you can go with someone, great. If you can go by yourself and build those relationships in the class, even better. Sometimes when we try to do our fitness journey as a group or with friends, that's where we kind of fail because you're waiting on that other person to go to class instead of doing the journey on by yourself so that you can find what you enjoy. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah. All the raised George Page. Good evening, folks. And he
Hello,
said,
hello.
fish oil sounds like a good idea, and I can really understand the struggle to lose weight. And if you are thinking of doping NPC show, where are to looking to compete at?
No, I'm going to stay 100% natural. Um I enjoy the work. I enjoy the work. Like I was sharing with you earlier before we got on the call, I got in from the gym this morning at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I go to a 24-hour gym because
Yeah,
I go late at night and I'm in there. I do 30 pull-ups. I'm pulling up my body weight. I
you
do my
do 30
pull-ups and
pull-ups like a set?
I do sets of tens.
Oh, okay. All
And I
right.
10, I might do some dips. I might go do a thing. Then I'll come back and I do 10. I for me, I don't see the need to do the drugs. And again, I'm 43. My body is constantly changing. I don't want to add anything else in there. Really being natural, encouraging other women because I don't think bodybuilding is extreme, but most women are not working out to go into bodybuilding.
Yeah,
If I could encourage other women to stay away from any type of surgery and do the work, that's really why I love the bodybuilding, but I want to show other women what our bodies can look like naturally as we get older.
yeah.
Like there's no reason for me to go under the knife. I'm bulky now, but I had a six pack. I didn't have a six pack when I was in my 20s. Like the woman that I was and I cannot think of her name, but the women that I was on stage with, the body that was the best was a 65-year-old grandmother,
Mm,
OCB, all natural, beautiful body, muscular. She was in physique, and she probably was, I would say, 5'2", and I mean, amazing body. The picture that you showed from the Cleveland show, the women that I were on stage with, their bodies are amazing naturally when you
yeah,
place and we get a we take a polygraph before we get on stage. If you get first place, you do get a drug test
yeah,
immediately after you get off stage. So we're able to build that muscle that you see in the other organizations where the women are not natural. We can do that naturally. It's just the
yeah.
work.
How
There's
long?
Go
Now,
ahead.
I was going to ask you, like, how long that did it take you to notice that you was building muscle?
I started building muscle my first year losing weight when because I dropped that 70 pounds. And it's so funny because I have a video of me doing my first set of push-ups. And I was so proud of myself to be able to do real push-ups. I wasn't on my knees. My form was beautiful. And it's for women, I always say, do you remember how Stella got a groove back? Angela Bassett arms
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
her arms were phenomenal. I started to see
yeah,
that little cut in my arms, and I
yeah,
was like, "Oh my gosh!" Every time I would reach for sun, I'm like, "Oh, look at my arms!" And I just kept saying, can what else can I do? How much, how can I make my arms look better? And that's how I actually started doing pull-ups because my goal was one.
yeah,
I was like, there's nothing more badass than watching a female walk in the gym and do a pull-up.
yeah.
And a pull-up, that was my goal, was one. I maxed out at 50.
Somebody on Instagram, they was mentioning about Angela Bassett, like she was on the Jennifer Hudson show, and they do like the line up and
She
thing, and
dropped down
then
to her knees and
yeah,
got up.
yeah, yeah, he was pointing that out. She's what, like 65, and she's doing that. And people, a lot of women, they may not be able to do what she able to do. So, and then, she there's one clip where she's interviewed, and she talks about what the diet that she had, the diet that she does. She like certain
She eats
carbs
clean.
she
She eats
eats.
clean.
Yeah,
Avocado oil, like
right.
she eats clean.
Yeah.
And it's nothing, because people say, "Oh, Angela Bassett, she's rich." I am not rich. I'm an educator.
Yeah, he
It
was
is
also real quick. He was also pointing that I didn't really know too much, but he was saying that you don't have to have a lot of money, and you don't have to have a lot of money to eat healthy, But the thing is, a lot of things, they do cost a lot, and I guess you gotta really like be smart about it.
yeah, and for the bodybuilding is expensive. But
Yeah,
vegetables, I eat a lot of vegetables.
yeah,
If you can't go buy fresh vegetables, the frozen vegetables, the bag that you throw in the microwave, I probably got 6 7 of those in the freezer now.
mm,
Fish and chicken, instead of frying chicken, baking it. It's
yeah.
really how you prepare it. Carbs, processed bread. If you really need to have bread, have sourdough bread or Ezekiel bread. Which Ezekiel bread it is on the more expensive side, but buy when it's 2 for 1.
Mm.
It's really just being mindful of what we're eating and eating more vegetables and fruit. I know my diet was horrible before
Right.
I really got into the training. I eat a large pizza and a 6 pack of alcohol, some type of beer, and watch football all day. I still watch football, but I can't eat like that. It hurts my stomach.
Mm,
I don't feel good when I eat like that. But we're not supposed to eat like that. Learning
mm,
to count calories, all the sodium that is in a lot of the food that we eat. We don't drink enough water. We drink a lot of soda. And I love Dr. Pepper, but I can't drink that the way I used to.
yeah.
So it's not a it bodybuilding, competing as a athlete, that is expensive. Eating healthier, it's about managing that time, but I rather take time to cook than to take time to have to go to the hospital for doctor's appointments and spending money for medicine and different pills because I have diabetes or my cholesterol is high. It's really prioritizing. And I get like like things are expensive, period. I go shopping at Costco. So I get my chicken breast and I cut it, I weigh it out, and I'm set to go for the week. If you're eating rice, necessarily mix it up with some quinoa. There's different ways. I shop at Aldi and Sprouts, Trader Joe's. I don't shop at Whole Foods. Again, I'm an educator. So, it's not about the the cost of it. Is really saying, what do I want for myself in the long run? When I'm training my clients, specifically women, I'm like, do you want to be able to get up and down off the floor with your children? If there was an emergency, could you pick your baby up and run? That's how we should think about our physical training, our fitness journey.
Mm. So do NPC do have a natural shows. They even have a natural pro qualifier in Pittsburgh, and he says go back to what love got to do with it. Angela was really buff back then. Yeah,
Oh yeah, she was her. I feel like for a lot of us, Angela Bassett was the first woman who had arms that we all
right.
were like, I want my arms like that.
Yeah,
And even to get a lot of women, we could get great muscle definement just with our body weight,
right.
doing push-ups correctly off your knees, being able to hold up a plank. That engages your entire body. I know NPC has the natural qualifier, but I'm not scared. I want to get on stage with all of them. I
Mm,
really want to be able to um, set that standard that you have that choice, but we can build just as much muscle as those that do take the drugs. That was one of the things that the coach that I have now, she she placed first. She was natural and she went against women that was not. And when she told me that, I was like, well, you think I can do it? And she said yes. So why not? And
yeah.
again, I'm such a baby in this journey. I have time, but I'm getting that pro card. There is no way and I'll come back to the show soon as I get my pro card. But I am definitely getting my pro card, and I do want the first one to be with OCB because I do want to go back home and do it in front of my family. But I want NPC too.
Yeah.
I
Do
want it
your
all.
family have your family been to your shows?
Yes, that
Oh,
the one in Ohio. All my family is in Ohio, so I had
okay.
uncles, my parents, my nephews. I had a crowd there, and that was important to me too because I want them to continue. I want them to eat better. My parents, they're older, and they, as we old, we like to snack on chips and crackers, and there's so much sodium, and I don't want them to have health problems. So I want to show them what we can do without necessarily saying do it. I want to be that role model. I really want to set the precedent for my family that we can live healthier. And I have my cheat days. I just came
Mhm.
from an 8 day I did an 8 day cruise over the new year. I gained some weight. And I did not track, I did not count a calorie that entire 8 days while I was on vacation. Now I'm back home and it's time to get focused.
I,
And again, I'm the extreme version.
right,
Everyone don't want to get on stage.
right. I'm assuming like do you like go through body dysmorphia or you don't focus on that
Yes,
too much?
I have to catch myself, and my friends are super supportive.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking in my head, oh, I look fluffy. I know I don't look fluffy, but I look fluffy for what my goals are. And so I'll share that conversation with my friends, but I'm mindful not to just make general statements. If I'm talking to someone that really don't know my background or that I'm competing, it you do get to the point where you're like, I want to look better. What can I do more? What can I do more? But it's important to have that community, to have those people that you're talking to because I'm not where I want to be, but I know I'm not where I was.
Right.
So it is a constant struggle. And again, that's what I really liked about starting my journey a little earlier because I do after the show, I have a group chat, OCB ladies. And we talk to each other. We're communicating on social media. So I'm able to stay grounded, but I think if you're doing this without really having that support system or I'm very in tune with myself. I'm very conscious of the things that I say. Also, because I am an educator and I used to work with a younger population. I know the power of the words. So I'm more mindful of what I say, but it can really, there's days I, I lost a couple of apps while I was on my vacation. I was like, oh no. And I'm like, but it's not normal to walk around with a six pack. That is just it's okay to have some weight on you. What we look like on stage, that is not how we walk around year round.
Yeah. Right. So I understand. Yeah.
And again, that's the difference between natural and those that may be taking enhancements.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have too much to say about the enhancements. I mean, to each his own. I know that I know like that at certain points, some of them they kind of do lose hair, and some even have breast implants because like that disappears when you gain a muscle, that chest it get disappears a lot, and so they have to. So I guess they want to look feminine, and they have them breast implants. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot that they go through. I mean, I don't know.
It can, but that's why I said we have to be very mindful of what we're putting in our body because it
Right,
do have different side effects. With women, you'll hear the change in their voice. Their voice tend to get a little deeper.
right,
So, again, I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone. My thing is really to encourage women, specific, mainly those that are hitting later age. We need muscles to live. We women lose a lot of muscle as they age.
right,
We need to be able to, like you said, Angela Bassett dropped to her knees and got up.
right.
A lot of us can't do that. 'Cause if we drop to our knees and tried to pop up after 40, and I tell them, like, that's why I said, can you sit on the floor and get up? Can you get down on the floor and stand up on your own? That's important. You should not, typically, we should not struggle with that in our 40s and our 50s. We should be able to move. We should be able to walk without assistance in our 60s and 70s. But because of the lifestyle that and I'm saying we because I was headed down that road
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, yeah,
Um, because we're not teaching ourselves, you know, to be active. And again, because the women see the extreme side of bodybuilding, they think those 5 pound kettlebells, they're going to get those big shoulders and those big things. My shoulders are, again, and that my Instagram and my TikTok, it's a lot of videos of me doing pull-ups
right,
because I'm like, we can do this naturally, and I still very feminine. I
right.
still have a very feminine shape. It's just a little bit more toned than the average 43-year-old. I think I saw a question. I wasn't able to read it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
hold on. I'll show it. I'll show it back. It's a comment. Linda Hamilton, Terminator 2 was the first that got attention for her arms. Yeah, yeah. If you see Linda Hamilton, I don't know if you seen Terminator Judgment Day. She was working out. It's a scene where she does these pull-ups, and she's buff a little bit. Like she look like she could be like a natural bodybuilder. Yeah,
Yeah, that one. It was what's love
Angela
got to do
Bassett did
with.
it to you.
Yeah, that was my Tina Turner. But even Tina Turner had an amazing body.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There was this bodybuilder I interviewed, and she was influenced by Angela Bassett when she did which Love Got to Do with It. That movie. I haven't seen that movie for some reason. I just didn't.
What?
I mean, I've seen some scenes of it, but for some reason, I just this there was rumors about her, and I don't know about the
Yeah.
beating up thing about it. I just kind of I know the movie. It's more like an exaggeration from what I understand, and
Well,
I don't know. I always
I'm gonna
kind
stay
of
away from that part. But I was saying, like, her portrayal and her body,
yeah.
like that stuck out tremendously.
I'll
And
probably
then,
check it out. I'll probably check it out since
um,
you telling me. Yeah.
but even
Um,
how Stella got a groove back,
yeah.
her arms were amazing in that, and that I think that may resonate more with women because that was like a little later. It was a huge box office hit, and
Right.
she was an older woman, but in amazing shape. And then one of the things that's I think is super cool for the sport right now, for Mr. Olympia, one of the competitors, he's a vegan.
Okay. I never.
All natural. Oh yes.
Yeah.
I want to say his name is Torrey Washington. He's going to be competing for Mr. Olympia. All natural.
Some people feel like that vegan thing is really tough, like especially for bodybuilders, because it's a lot of food that they gotta consume, and you
It
know,
it's not an easy sport.
yeah,
I did go vegan for a while in my early journey. I just again I like food. I like
yeah,
grill. I There were some things that I like meat, so I
mm,
don't eat as much. But to get that protein, that to be a vegan, that is a lot. That is,
yeah,
that's a whole different level. That's a mindset. But it's great for the sport for him to be doing as well as he's doing as a
yeah,
natural competitor. And again, it shows everyone, especially men, you don't have to take any enhancements. We can do this. It's just time consuming. He's older. I almost want to say I know he's older than me. I don't want to put a number on her, but he's an older man.
yeah.
And he'll be
Dude, I mean,
competing in.
like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Go
you off.
ahead.
Do you think like bodybuilding it's not really shown, on TV like that? Like, do you think that you know natural bodybuilding could get some light, in your opinion?
It would be great. That is, I am not as social media savvy as I would like to be, but I've
Yeah,
been very intentional about posting more because we don't see the natural side. The natural side, that's not what is advertised. That's not what is out there in mainstream media. Um, so I do think bodybuilding gets sometimes a negative portrayal
yeah,
because you're seeing the extreme. You're not seeing the other side of it. And then, there were quite a few who passed away early age. And so I think bodybuilding does sometimes have a very negative connotation because of what most people see.
yeah. I
But
mean,
it's,
even like bodybuilding, like the the enhanced bodybuilding, they really, people don't really pay attention to it like that, or even really care, in my opinion. Well, I think it's really a fact. And I don't think it's so much of opinion, but the public don't really like pay attention to it or talk about it. Like they'll have some shows and it's never like mentioned in the mainstream air. Like sometimes they do get that light, like probably like in local news, they'll talk about a bodybuilder, that's competing, and but it doesn't. It's not like how back in the day, like I would say 80s, 90s,
oh,
like
no.
bodybuilders were like in talk shows or nothing like that. So yeah,
No, during the Arnold Classic and those things. No, it,
yeah,
it it definitely has lost that spark, and that's where I said it's very important for people to be educated on it because I went to the first event that I went to, I was discouraged. I was like, oh, I'm not ready. No,
mhm,
I'm not going to be ready no time soon. But again, that was one of the best experience because the sisterhood, if I could say, was just there. It was such a supportive environment. And even if I'm definitely getting on stage again, but even if I wasn't going to compete again, I would. This is a lifestyle for me now. I will not be going back to just working out 3-4 times a week. My body, my overall mental health is better because of my fitness journey. And so that I think that's an important side that we often don't talk about. Where you can, if you're not mindful, you can, really develop some bad habits. But again, my stress, my anxiety. I used to have anxiety attacks. I don't have them no more. I sleep 8 hours. My overall mental health has improved because of my fitness journey and because I'm eating better. I used to uh, drink a lot. I don't drink as much. I don't drink. I really don't want to say I'm not gonna say I don't drink at all, but the way games. It's been football games on today. I would I would be sipping and watching games all day. That is unheard of for me to watch football without a drink in my hand. I would have a glass of wine at night to settle down. My body can't handle that anymore. That the wine, and these are not. I'm not saying these things are bad, but in excess, they do have a toll on you. So I can't drink a glass of wine every night now
Mm.
because I can't. I'm not going to get up on time to go to the gym, and going to the gym for me before work is how I start my day. My overall productivity is more. My overall interaction, my ability to deal with stress is impacted by me getting to the gym.
How long do you stay in the gym? Like let's say for tonight, like how long would you plan to just stay?
So my weekends, because I go at night and there's typically empty, that's when I'm there for a few hours. But within those few hours, I'm doing a lot of a deep stretch. I'm practicing my posing. I'm putting on my heels, and
Okay.
I'm in the studio. I'm in a whole different part of the gym, walking around. Squeezing, flaring out my lats, practicing my quarter turns. I may do a T walk. I'm doing the things that I would do on stage at the
Right.
gym.
Do you be by yourself or like do you have somebody that's with you?
No, I go by myself.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, I'm not trying to scare you, but like a while back, I remember there was this bodybuilder and she was like in the gym. I think it was in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, and some dude was there and then he started attacking her and but she fought him off. And it
oh,
yeah, yeah,
Florida
go.
is a open carry state. We know that, right?
Huh?
But Florida is open carry.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
I'm by myself at the gym, but there's people in there, and I don't necessarily talk to everyone, but I do feel safe at my gym. You know,
Okay.
you tend to see the same people, and
Right.
so,
It's a
you know,
community more.
it's a community.
Yeah,
It
I
is
got you.
definitely a community.
That's
So
good.
there's a couple of young guys that, they always come over and, hey, how you doing? They check in with me about my shows. I say, everything's great. But I do feel like, when I'm walking, when I'm leaving, they're keeping an eye on me and always, acknowledging when I leave. I'm not naive. 'Cause, I
Right.
have on my headphones, but I never have my headphones on when I'm walking to and from the car. I wouldn't go if I didn't feel safe.
I understand.
I'm the only girl. My dad, my brothers don't play about me, but no, I'm safe. It's just a matter of me being able to get in the gym and focus and zone in. And again, I don't mind going with people, but I'm going because I'm working on a goal. So I'm doing, 4 sets of 10 on the incline bench, and I'm lifting heavier. I don't necessarily want to chit chat. Like,
Right.
I am, I will say this: if I see another woman, like if she's trying to do pull-ups or something, I will always stop to support, to encourage, to spot. But I'm working on a goal. So when I'm in there, especially if I'm going to be in there for 2 to 3 hours, I need to be focused because um that person that beat me last year that got first place, I bet she was in that gym working hard.
Right.
She wasn't in there hanging out. She was, she's lifting heavier. When I'm in the gym, we always say it's me against me. But I know I didn't get first place because someone worked harder. So now when I'm in the gym, I have to be focused. I have to go through, am I doing my rep correctly? How is my form? How's my breathing? Now I'm tired. Go do a set in the studio and do that walk, flare out your lats. That's the hardest part for me. So I have to be very intentional. I got to set up that camera so I can see, am I flaring it out? How are my hands placed? How are my feet? Are my toes pointed? Um, are my feet right? It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's not something that you just do. I could go to the gym for 30 minutes and get what I really need to do. And not 3 hours every day. No, that's excessive.
Right.
That is not a. But again, if you're doing cardio, if you're doing the lifting and the posing you have to do for an hour.
Mm,
You really have to be very intentional with your posing because one hand placement changes the way your back look if your hands are out versus in. How are you creating that V with your back? It is very detailed. I could have a better physique than one competitor, but she poses better. The Remember I was telling you earlier that there was a young lady who told me I should have took second place. She got second, and she said, "But it was your posing,"
mm.
and she
Like
showed me. Excuse me.
in OCB, like for figure, like how many poses that you have to work on?
Um, Four, but well, and they kind of threw in a pose that I already like I was prepared for.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking about at the amateur level.
Okay.
So you really have to be able to stand, do your quarter turns, and really that lat spread. That's like the big one. And they'll sometimes in the middle of while you're on stage with everyone ask for that double bicep. So that's that one there. And being able to hit it the right way and
Yeah.
still smile and look natural and squeeze in your core so that everything is popping.
Yeah. I
And
heard
even
that's a
just
lot. Yeah.
that's you start to cramp up on stage.
Yeah.
Like it is you haven't really had much to drink. You've already dehydrated yourself to really get the muscles popping. You're at a calorie deficit. You're on stage exhausted. But once you get on stage, all you tune all that out. All the pain, the heels are not comfortable. But when you're on stage, none of that matters at that moment.
Mm, yeah. Let me read some of these chats because this guy he wrote a lot. Bodybuilding can be mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially draining. Like for you, like what do you do? Like you're a fitness trainer, right?
I do that on the side. I'm a program manager at the University of Miami. I have a full time.
Oh, okay.
But no, it is very expensive. So I did get sponsors because the the suit, the little green suit that you pulled up, that was one of the cheaper ones, and that was $300.
Mm,
And that was one of the cheaper ones. You got to get tanning. Yeah, as a chocolate woman, yes, I got a tan. You have to get waxed, and it is a toll financially. So that's where social media, these type of opportunities, you do have to put yourself out there. People are willing to sponsor.
yeah.
That I've been very lucky on this journey because people have invested in me. They've been proud to watch my journey. So, and then like you said, you're in Brooklyn. The show I did was in Orlando, and one was in Cleveland. So I had to fly, and I drove. I'm in Florida, so I drove to Orlando. You got to get the hotel. You have to pay
Mm,
to get in the competition. Then you pay for every division that you compete in. You pay for your membership. It is financially, as an amateur, you don't you get your first place. You don't start to make money until you get your pro card.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know some of them they do get like prizes and money. Like do you have like a favorite competitor as a pro in OCB? Like I know like the Yorton, they got all the pros and stuff and you know.
um, no, that's why I said I am a baby in this journey. It was something that
Okay.
I wanted for me, that it was like, I genuinely love the way my body look muscular. I When I put on a dress, you can't tell me nothing. I like having a stronger physique. So I didn't get into it because of others. It's because I love the way I looked.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm competitive. I'm a little competitive, and I just felt like this was a better avenue for me to release stress than sitting around drinking. And I'm like, you can find any hobbies. I'd rather be in a gym now. I
So
find the
you
benefit of being in a gym. If
so
I have
you
a problem at work that's stressing me out when I'm working out,
right.
the answer comes to me while I'm in the middle of my set.
So you look at it more of a lifestyle than a sport.
Oh yeah, this is a lifestyle change for me.
Okay. So let me see. The Five Heartbeats, The Color Purple, and What's Love Got to Do with It were my
Mhm.
mom and sister's favorite movies.
All
Um,
classics.
you say, let me see. There are more fighters that died than bodybuilding. So yeah, that thing he mentioned it because I think you mentioned that there's bodybuilders that passed away, but you do hear a lot of bodybuilders that pass away a lot. Like you hear it. For me, I don't know that many boxers. I don't really watch boxing too much. Only thing I probably looked at was old Muhammad Ali clips or Mike Tyson clips or anything like that. But I did like nowadays you're hearing like bodybuilders like
W-
just passing away.
because the enhancements, that's why I say like you're putting stuff in your body and those tend to
Mm,
be harder on your heart and they're not meant for long-term use.
right.
So you you know, if I again, if medically needed, it's one thing, but for bodybuilding, and I really want to say his name is Torrey Washington. He's a vegan, like older gentleman. You can build the muscle. It's just putting in the work. You you cannot build muscle overnight. It is not a quick, I'm going to have build out my arms in a couple of weeks. Oh no, it takes years. Like it is a lot of work to build muscle, and I think people would appreciate it more if they just did the process and
Mm,
put in the work. Get 4:30 a.m. I'm up. Do I want to be up? No. But I know the benefit of it. I trained a very close friend. She initially was going to get surgery, and I told her, I said, I know if we work together, we can get you to the goal you want. And it got to the point where she no longer was training with me. She could go to the gym on her own because we got her down naturally. We did the boxing, we did the strength training. It is really, and it no, it wasn't a 3 4 month. It was probably 2 years, but it was a lifestyle change. Because if you get the surgery, you're not learning how to eat different. You're not learning how to prepare your food. So you're going to go back and do it. Same thing with the drugs and taking the enhancements. You have to change here before you do that to really make that change. If you're making a lifestyle change, be it bodybuilding or just for longevity, it's a process. We didn't get fat in a couple of weeks. You didn't gain all that weight, so you shouldn't expect to lose the weight and take that shortcut.
yeah. And he also says it's not always roids, it's more using too much diuretics or that person had a pre-existing condition. So I don't know. Then he also
But again,
says,
that's not my area. Like I cannot speak for that community because
yeah,
I
it's complicated with them. Sometimes you don't know why they passed away. There was a woman. She was a bodybuilder. She was in this movie, scary movie, and like she stopped competing, but she passed away at 62, and somebody found her on the floor, and I don't know. Nobody doesn't know why she passed away or anything like that. So it kind of remains a mystery.
But if like again, when with my trainer, we went and did my blood work. We saw where all
Yeah,
my numbers were at. Like it, that's why I say it should really be a lifestyle because we should be getting, if you're competing or not, you should be getting your work checked out. So
right.
if there's pre-existing conditions and knowing your family history and all those things. But that's why I said it's very important for us not to take those shortcuts and just to be more mindful of preventative. Are we getting our yearly? Are we going to the doctor for just those check-ins and not waiting till it's a pain and it's a problem? And again, reading the nutrition labels and I know we like chips and different things, and we eat a lot of salt. We eat a lot of sodium. If you look at a lot of things, it's sodium. It's so much sodium in everything that we consume, and we're not drinking water.
You
And
think
then
it's like black people, like us black people, or just America in general?
Americans overall, but it's specifically in our community.
Right. Yeah.
We and again, I love some food, but I can't eat that every day anymore. I can't eat fried food every day. I love some chicken and waffles, but I'm not eating fried food all the time. Our body's not meant to have that. And then again, we're not drinking water. A lot
Right.
of us sells the I don't want to call names, the pre-workouts and all those different things, and we're not putting in our body. We're
What you
drinking
think?
everything else.
What you think about sugar-free soda?
I think everything in moderation is fine,
Yeah.
but we still need water because that's why I told you I like Dr. Pepper. I'll do a sugar-free Dr. Pepper, but I'm also going to drink because of the way I work out. I'm drinking a gallon of water.
Yeah.
Like I drink. I keep water with me the entire time. I'm constantly drinking water, and a lot of us, black, white, and we don't drink water.
Right.
Or if
That
we're
I
drinking
mean
water,
that's true.
we're putting something in it.
I mean, I put like lemon juice in it at times, like
No, no,
you
I'm
know,
talking about like like flavored stuff, not
oh
like
flavors.
putting lemon in water. No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But you know, are not you, but people that drink the pre workouts,
Right.
you're switching one thing for another instead of just drinking the water. And again, I'm not judging because some days I need that pre workout to get in and get that set because I'm tired.
Right.
But we can't. Everything should be in moderation.
Yeah. They got those
And
substitute things like not Gatorade, but like it's like a drink or something, and I forgot the name of it. I seen it at Dwayne Reed. They have like the gummy
I think
bears, and
liquid IV, that's a good, but again, you got to look at the sodium.
yeah,
But that's drinking water is okay. And
right,
I like liquid IV, but again, when it's time to compete, I have to be very mindful. And a lot of things have sodium, a lot
yeah,
of sodium, and when you're cooking, what type of salt? Are you using a pink salt? Are you using a
yeah,
regular white processed salt? A lot of us are, we pour it on there, and my taste buds had to really go through a change because I had to cut out a lot of that seasoning, a lot of that excessive
yeah,
things. It's appreciating vegetables as is. So, it's like, oh, I had vegetables, but you fry them. Or you put a whole bunch of salt on them. But they're not. Brussels sprouts are pretty good by themselves with a little bit of salt. You know, spice up some.
I don't know. Is it me or is she breaking up? I don't. Let me see. Then water is healthy, but as humans, we want something to have taste and flavor. Yeah, I think she needs to come back. If you can hear me, come back. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know if she. Yeah, I think she got some technical difficulties. Uh, yeah, come back if you can hear me. Let me see if I could kick her out. Hopefully, she could come back in. At first, yeah, yeah. Let me being stationary is also biggest effects to being overweight. But this is more of a pictures and stuff. This is her OCB and so in competition. Yeah, she was in third place. Third place. Hold on. I gotta. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, guys. I don't. She had a little technical difficulties. She comes back. Okay, here she comes. Yeah. At first, I thought that was me. I was like,
The- well, my screen went blank, and I was like, "What happened?"
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry
It's
about that.
technical difficulties. Yeah. Let me read some of the chats. He says being stationary is also the biggest effects of being overweight, and posing is an important tool. Then he says water is healthy, but as humans, we want something to have taste and flavor. There is a hint water. It has fruit flavors. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I drink tea. Sometimes I put some sugar in my tea. I get like green tea, peppermint tea, and you know but I do, there's times I think I had a trainer, not think, but I had a trainer. He suggested that I get like coconut water for that,
Hmm.
for me drinking, to substitute the soda and the fruit juices and all that type of stuff, because
And
that's what
we
you see in the supermarkets.
and like again, that's something that I had to learn. Like we have to look at the labels
Yeah,
because we're drinking and consuming so much sugar, and
yeah.
a lot of that fat that was mainly in our stomach area that comes from the sugar. Like I told you, I love a glass of wine. I want to show you one, two, three. Probably I got 8 bottles of wine on my rack currently, but it's so much sugar,
Mm,
and food is made different now. A lot of the stuff that we consumed is highly processed. And so we're eating sugar all day long. It's not necessarily all day and have candy, but that burger that you consumed, and again I'm talking about things that you buy fast food, a lot of the processed food, they have a lot of, especially the juices at the stores. And again,
mm,
I love Dr. Pepper, but if we're trying to be proactive and we don't want to pay the bills for having early onset diabetes and all these other complications, it comes with drinking water. Not um when I'm really in the middle of getting ready and yet we drink a lot of water, I'll add some Crystal Light to my water. One of those little packets of Crystal Light, if I'm like I really need that little bit of something. But once your taste buds get used to not having so much sugar, you really
mm.
start to appreciate a natural sugar. A pink lady apple with some peanut butter. Ah, I am happy. 'Cause that is a I love fruit now. I can, instead of eating, I like gummy bears. I'll cut up an apple, put some peanut butter on it, and I'm happy. I The rice cakes. Rice cake is not everyone thing, but they got the apple cinnamon rice cake. They got the caramel rice cakes. It's so much so that my friends who are not into bodybuilding, they eat rice cakes
Yeah.
on their own
There's times
instead
I've
of
had a rice cake, but I don't know. For some reason, it could be a little crunchy, and sometimes it hurts your jaw. So I just kind of left it alone.
but it's different things to try. Like
Yeah,
once your body get used to not having excessive sugar, you
right.
really start to appreciate. One of the things I had to incorporate a lot of was blueberries. I used to be like, blueberries are disgusting. Now I go to the store, I'm like, ooh, I gotta give me some blueberries. I genuinely like the taste of blueberries. I walk around home eating blueberries. I have a handful of blueberries I'm snacking on because I like that natural sweetness of it. Because I'm not eating. I love gummy bears. Be it Haribo, Albano. Like I love gummy bears. I don't crave them as much because now I can appreciate the sweetness of fruit.
Yeah,
Even with the aloe, I have an aloe plant. I'll cut that up. slice up a lemon, and I'll add that to my water, the aloe. That'll help me keep that helps with hydration naturally. Watermelon, cantaloupe. There's ways that you can get that additional water naturally through fruit, but also get that sweetness for whatever you're craving. But this is, when we start to change our eating habits, it's for longevity. And it, like, I get, oh, I don't want to drink water all the time, but what is the alternative?
Yeah.
My grandma's 84 and very active. That is my goal. My goal is to be able to get up and move and to live life fully in my later age. There's a woman, uh older woman. She's in her 70s and she's in the gym, like she's active on social media, and you could tell she's 70, but she's lifting and she caters to that population. And you see all these older people moving, they're not using walkers. That's the goal. That should be the goals for all of us. If not getting on stage, but being able to be active and to move in your 70s and 80s. I used to think 40 and 50 was old. Now I'm there. I'm like, this is not what I envisioned. Like I just feel like I just figured out life. So I'm looking forward to 70. 70 don't seem like the end anymore. If that makes sense. Like we can be active and vibrant in later in age. Again, Angela Bassett, she's closer to 70 than she is 60.
Mm.
Well, I don't know if she's 63 or like
I
she's,
think she's 65, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I
60.
want, and she
I'm not,
looks,
yeah,
she the standard. We should
yeah.
really aim. And again, yes, she's a celebrity, but there is, I really want to say her last name is Shepherd, something like that. 70-year-old woman. She's super
Mm.
active on social media. Torres Washington, he'll be competing for Mr. Olympia. He's in his 50s, a vegan. Like these are lifestyle changes so that we can have a better life, not
Right,
just, because we're bodybuilders. The bodybuilding is the benefit of the lifestyle change.
right. Yeah. Um, Sugar is like any drug, it's addictive.
Hmm.
Popcorn or butter or salt is good. And yeah. Yeah, you talking about a lot of knowledge. You're giving a lot of knowledge. One thing about I've heard, bodybuilders, they don't eat too much fruit like in competition or something like that. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard that.
As we get closer to getting ready for stage, you're
Yeah,
really, you might have 5 ounces of fruit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because again, fruit has sugar in it. And the goal when you're on stage, you want your stomach flat. And
Right,
sugar goes to that. And again, for women, where they always say women, the fupa, that little bottom part of your belly, tend to be where you hold the most fat. That's where that sugar is getting stored on women mostly, is that bottom part of their belly.
right,
And I think when he said something about popcorn, there is a brand of popcorn. Um, Lesser Evil, I believe it is called. It's a little like a little Buddha man on the front. That's a Again, everything is in moderation,
right,
but that's a better alternative for popcorn than some of those more popular ones. And I think it
right.
tastes amazing, but it's like there you can do everything, but it's in moderation.
Yeah,
Should you be eating a big family size bag of popcorn every night? No. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of it is moderation. Bodybuilding is the extreme of it, but the day-to-day life, if you're not active and you're eating 3,000 calories a day, you're going to gain weight. You should
right,
probably be more in that 12 to 15,000 calories. 1,500, excuse me. But then if I say 1,500, that's a burrito from Chipotle. So it's really just about the moderation of, if you're eating Chipotle every day and everybody be like, oh, Chipotle is hefty. Uh, it's
I don't know why I
a
eat that
healthier
every day.
alternative.
Chipotle. I don't know if I would want to eat that all the time. That's a lot of money too. You
It
spending.
it's a lot. Like one burrito is the calorie intake of someone for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
That should be an entire calorie count. So are you having half of that burrito? Which I know I was never eating half, but I'm a little greedy. So, and if you're not being active, I think one of the things we everyone be like, oh, I don't want to get in shape. I don't want to go to the gym. Go outside for a walk. A 20-minute walk at a brisk pace to get your heart pumping is so underrated.
mm,
Just getting out and moving, riding your bike, rollerblading. I know up north it's a little cold, so some of these things are a little harder,
right,
but moving makes such a difference because we're sitting around eating and not moving, that our bodies are not meant for that.
right. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, well, thank you, man. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I really appreciate you giving your insights on eating healthy. Yeah, because it's not very easy. I know it's not easy, but if you really want something bad, you you have to do your best to go for it.
You have to
So
make it happen.
yeah, you have to definitely make it happen. Yeah, like
And I
like
tell people, think about it. It's about your life. It's not about aesthetically. I like looking good, but I want to be able to move when I'm 60 and 70.
right. Like, do you like what's your show gonna what month your show is gonna take place?
I'm thinking because right now I am doing a little physical therapy for my needs. I want to build them up a little. I want to be very intentional because again, I'm getting that
Okay,
first place. I am anticipating being on stage again in May. And
May.
then I
Okay.
I definitely I want to go back to Ohio for the OCB Cleveland. July, the Natural Kingdom that I did last year. I want to go back because I want to show the judge I got their feedback and how I made that change. That's how I motivate myself. I like you have to find different ways to motivate yourself. I want to show those judges like I got third last year. Y'all don't have no other choice but to give me first this year. And
Yeah,
then
I'm sure you'll get it. Yeah,
I do want to get first. My heart, and I'm gonna say this, and I know this is my heart wants to get the pro card in front of my family.
that's good.
Like that would be that moment that means so much to me. I and that's a huge goal. And I know like you don't necessarily always want to share such goals, but I would love to get my pro card in front of my family. And
That's
then once I get that pro card, I'll reach out to you so we can have that follow up meeting.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. He says, well, best of luck on your next competition. Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
Yeah.
And they've been so engaged. So those were all great questions, and like I love the engagement.
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate you taking your time and telling me about your story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you
Uh,
for reaching out, giving me the platform to share with your community. Like I'm so grateful. Like I really that's what when you reached out, I was like, I think this is a great opportunity. So like thank you and thank you for shining a light even on female competitors and athletes and giving us this platform to share.
well, I try, that's all I can do. There's some that respond, some don't, I just do what I can, but I appreciate you taking your time and telling me your story. Appreciate it.
But then hopefully this won't be our last conversation.
No, I hope not, I hope not. Appreciate it. Yeah, maybe I might see you in an OCB show or something. Who
Oh,
knows?
I'm gonna keep you updated now. I got your contact info, so as I get closer to my shows, I'll let you know.
All right.
Because they say they're going to start streaming some of the shows, so I'll definitely let you know once I
Yeah.
know which my next show will be.
Yeah. I do be looking at the streams also, the OCB
Okay.
stream. Yeah. So, but anyway, I hope you have a good workout tonight and yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to make my steak and eat some rice, walk my dog, lay down for about 40 minutes, then I'll be in there for the rest of the night.
All right. Well, good
All
night.
right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.